As the sun rose over Harare on that crisp morning in 1992, I found myself standing on the platform of the city's bustling railway station. The old steam locomotive, a relic from a bygone era, stood before me, its weathered exterior hinting at the countless journeys it had made across the African landscape. I was about to embark on an adventure that would take me from the heart of Zimbabwe to the sprawling metropolis of Johannesburg, South Africa. With my well-worn backpack slung over my shoulder and passport clutched tightly in hand, I boarded the train, the excitement of the journey ahead coursing through my veins. The compartment was a charming mix of faded elegance and practical functionality, a testament to the train's long history of ferrying passengers across borders. I unfurled my map, tracing our route with my finger. Fellow passengers, a mix of locals and adventurous tourists like myself, shared stories and laughter, creating a warm, communal atmosphere that made the long journey feel shorter. The lush greenery of Zimbabwe gradually gave way to the more arid terrain of the northern Transvaal. I consulted my map again, noting the upcoming stops: Louis Trichardt, Polokwane, and finally, Johannesburg. I, however, found myself wide awake, captivated by the moonlit landscape rushing past my window. In the distance, I could make out the silhouettes of acacia trees and the occasional flicker of lights from remote farmhouses. We would pass through Bulawayo, the second largest city in Zimbabwe, before crossing into South Africa at the Beitbridge border post. The dining car, with its white-clothed tables and attentive staff, felt like a portal to a more glamorous age of rail travel. The laughter of fellow passengers and the ever-changing tableau of the African landscape had all combined to create an unforgettable experience. In an age where air travel was becoming increasingly common, this train journey had offered a glimpse into a different world, one where the journey itself was just as important as the destination. And as Johannesburg's bustling streets engulfed me, I knew that the memories of that train ride would stay with me long after the dust of my travels had settled. It was a journey that reminded me of the joy of slow travel, of the connections made with both people and places along the way, and of the rich tapestry of life that exists between major cities. I savored dishes of sadza and stew, washed down with refreshing local beer, all while watching the world go by outside. At times we would halt in the middle of seemingly nowhere, waiting for signals or for other trains to pass on the single-track sections, but these pauses became opportunities, chances to stretch our legs, breathe in the fresh air of the African bush, and marvel at the star-studded sky far from city lights. Long queues snaked through the modest border post building, filled with travelers from all walks of life. The air was thick with a mixture of excitement, impatience, and the unmistakable buzz of cross-border commerce. The journey had been more than just a means of transportation. It had been an adventure, a chance to see two countries in a way that no other mode of travel could offer. As I stepped off the train, my legs wobbling slightly after nearly 36 hours on board, I knew that this 1992 train journey from Harare to Johannesburg would remain etched in my memory forever. After what seemed like an eternity, but was probably just a couple of hours, I received the coveted stamp in my passport and reboarded the train. The sprawling townships on the city's periphery gave way to more densely packed suburbs. And finally, the impressive skyline of the city center emerged on the horizon. As we pulled out of Harare, the cityscape gradually gave way to the lush, rolling hills of the Zimbabwean countryside. The rhythmic clacking of the wheels against the tracks became a soothing backdrop to the ever-changing scenery outside my window. As we approached the Limpopo River, which marks the border between Zimbabwe and South Africa, a palpable sense of anticipation filled the air. The train slowed to a crawl as we reached the Beitbridge border post. Here we disembarked, passports in hand, to go through the necessary customs and immigration procedures. The border crossing was an experience in itself. As we chugged into South Africa, the landscape began to change. The journey was not without its challenges. The old train, while charming, was prone to unexpected stops and delays. As night fell, the gentle rocking of the train lulled many passengers to sleep. Food on the train was a delightful mix of local flavors and simple, hearty fare. As dawn broke on the second day of our journey, the outskirts of Johannesburg began to come into view. Pulling into Johannesburg station, I felt a mix of excitement and nostalgia. The sights, sounds, and smells of the trip. The clickety-clack of wheels on tracks, the waft of diesel and coal smoke as I hailed a taxi to take me to my hotel. I couldn't help but feel grateful for having chosen this mode of travel.